It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Pole Position Tracks of Kaho, and this is my summit guide. Let's go. All right, speaking of something new, it might be time for a new chair. And if so, I need 1 minute of your time to pay the bills real quick. You guys know I don't sell a lot of things on this channel. In fact, you can go through a bunch of my videos. There's like almost no like sponsors or sales. I say no all the time, literally all day, every day. But there's one in particular that I've stuck with for like 5 years, and that is eWin Racing. It's a chair company. It's the chair that I'm currently sitting in. As you can see, this is the most comfortable chair I've ever sat in. It is by far my favorite chair company on the market. I've got 2 chairs from them. This is the first one. This was my favorite, but let me get the other one for you. This is their upgraded series. This one is brand new, and it has a magnetic pillow that you just plop wherever you want. Now, it also has magnetic handrests as well. Comes with tools, and it just takes like not even 15 minutes to put this thing together. And on top of all of that, it is by far the best for big people. It's the most durable. It's a 550-pound weight limit. It's insane, and you can be up to 7 feet tall and still fit in this thing. It's my favorite by a mile, and I think you guys should check it out. You get 30% off by using code Militia on their website. Go to ewinracing.com. Check it out, because this is the best chair company on the market for you. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. All right, starting out with the cars, we've got the Red Bull RB14 and the Proto Alpha Mark X. Those are the Summit bundle cars. It's going to cost you 1.4 million bucks for this week's Summit. Let's go to the rewards. This week we got 10,000 in bronze, the spare parts. We got 10 legend points in silver, the KTM Expo R Spear Racing Edition, Alpha Grand Prix Edition for gold, and then the Spear Racing Underglow for the platinum reward. It's nice to get a free vanity because most of the vanities cost money, so definitely go for this one. It's a platinum reward for this week. That means you got to get to the top 15,000. If you're new to the game or new to the summits, you need to get in the top 15,000 at the week's end, which means all week you can improve your scores. You can do these races as many times as you want. And because of that, the very last day, which is Tuesday, the very last day, people go out and they try to improve their scores at the last minute. So make sure you're checking your scores on Monday and Tuesday to make sure you're in that top 15,000 so you can get your rewards. And the rewards get handed out Tuesday night around 11 o'clock Central Time US. So you want to convert that on Google. You can, figure out what time you get your rewards. Anyways, let's get into the events. All right, the first event is an off-road AGP race. And to be honest, there isn't really any tricks. There's no like shortcuts or anything like that. I do a wall bounce here on this first turn because it kind of points you in the right direction after you hit the wall. It looks something like this. And then it allows you to cut that flag. Now, there's a lot of that. You guys have to know by now, if you've been racing this game, you can cut these flags. You do not have to go in between the checkpoints. You can go to the side of them, and there's a lot of forgiveness. So if you go too far, it'll say missed checkpoint, but for the most part, you got lots of forgiveness. You want to take advantage of that throughout this race. Now, a lot of this race is going to be sort of determined by like basically your control of the car in the off-road scenario. AGP is easy to lose the car, and you just have to try to control it the best you can. Now, I would recommend a higher steering sensitivity, because the higher the steering sensitivity on this, the easier it is to catch the car whenever it starts to drift, and then it makes it a little bit easier to control. So again, see how I'm cutting this flag? That's how far inside that flag you can go without it, saying that you missed the checkpoint. So you definitely want to do that. I would say avoid that rock, by the way. You want to try to make that turn a little bit more clean. And honestly, that's it. It's all the advice I have for you. So let's move on. All right, race number 2 is with using the Proto Mark X, I think it is. Anyways, there's not a lot to this race either. I would say on the start of the race, if you didn't know how to start AGPs with like a quote-unquote perfect start, you actually have to hold the brake and the gas to sort of do a tire burnout and then let the car go. The second you see smoke coming off the tires, and it's only like a split second, it may be like 2 or 3 tenths of a second that you're holding it. As soon as you see the smoke, you let the brake go and just start accelerating. Now, if you're in automatic, this is gonna probably not work that well. If you're in manual, this will work very well, and you start shifting up immediately. So anyways, for this race, there's nothing tricky really here. This is all just like a track forge style race, and it's actually a really nice layout. I like whoever built this. Very nicely done. Now, you can cut this flag on this very hard like chicane here. You can cut the flag on the inside and then again on the inside of that one. Just make sure you're doing that on both laps. me fast forward to see if there's any more tricks here. Because it's a lone vehicle, you want to make sure you're being conservative with your NOS. You can cut the inside of these flags as well. You don't want to be blasting your NOS in 8th gear because you don't have the advantage of extra pump and nitrochemist, which gives you a lot of NOS. So you want to make sure you're just, tapping your NOS, keeping it in the blue. You don't want to use too much of it. Let's see, what other little tricks can I tell you? Now these blue sides here, you want to stay off of those. It's okay to drive on the rumble strips, but don't drive on the blue stuff. That stuff slows you down quite a bit. Even right there, just a little bit will slow you down. Yeah, outside of that, that's it, man. Let's move on. All right, the next race is with the NASCAR mechanics, which means you have tire wear, you have vehicle health, and you have gas. So you need to manage all three of those things. Really, the only things that are at play here are the tires and the gas. You're going to be pit stopping after your 3rd lap. It's important here to be as smooth as you possibly can going around these and go as fast as you possibly can for these laps. If you don't do that, you're going to leave a lot of time on the table here. You don't want to go slow to try to save tires and gas and all that, because you're going to have to pit stop no matter what. So just go as fast as you can through those first 3 laps. Pit stop after the 3rd lap, going into the 4th one, and then you should be good. Now, as far as the pit stop itself goes, here's what you want to do. Let's see. Let's get to the 4th lap. So the pit stop here, you want to make sure you select change the tires, refill the gas. And then when you do this, when you refill the gas, you don't need to refill the gas all the way up. You actually can only refill it, or you can refill it between 3/4 of a tank and full. That'll save you at least a couple of seconds. So right about there, right in the middle, that'll give you enough gas to get to the finish line. So make sure you're doing that. Now, the other thing is you should have this on difficulty 5, because on the last lap, you get a really nice tow from the AI. So let me show you what that looks like. On the very last lap, here's where you start to come, actually on the 5th lap as well. It looks like you're getting a little bit here on the 5th lap, give you some extra speed. And then when you get to, let's see, you're passing AI, and here's the last lap. So here we are in the last lap. You got 3rd and 4th place here that you're able to get your slipstream going, and you can really take advantage of this for the end of the race, because it puts you almost at full speed and gets you a nice time. So anyway, that's it. Let's move on. All right, the next race is with tire wear. So what that means is you need a specific set of parts. You really don't need a set of parts. It would be nice if you had nitrochemist. That's going to help you, but you really need iron grip. That's going to make the biggest difference, is having iron grip as your affix for your parts. So if you have a full set of gold parts, make sure you go back and re-affix those things to get iron grip. Now, obviously, nitrochemist set would be great with pure and iron grip. That's like the top tier part set for this race. You're going to have tire degradation on this one, so you're going to be able to manage that. It's only 2 laps, so you don't have to pit stop or anything like that. And there's not really any secrets or tricks or anything that I was able to find to give you a better time. These are just basically traditional racing or AGP style tracks. So let's move on. All right, the 5th race is another NASCAR race, and for this one, I highly recommend a slipstream partner. The one previous is only a few laps. You can benefit from a slipstream partner, but it's not 100% necessary. This one is 100% necessary. It's basically the big oval on the NASCAR track, and if you have a slipstream partner, you can be at top speed the entire race. And because of that, you don't even have to pit. If you have a slipstream partner, you don't have to pit, and you don't have to slow down at all. Now, that is if you have the iron grip parts. You need iron grip on your parts to make sure that you don't have to pit because of the tire wear and the gas. Another thing too is the gas for the person in the front is going to run out faster than the gas for the person that's slipstreaming in the back. But if you're close enough to each other and you're giving drag bump to that person in front, you can actually make it to the end without having to worry about getting gas or having to pit stop or having to switch places. We did this on stream. You can just, slipstream and make it to the end. Now, here's what the difference is in the times. This is how necessary a slipstream partner is on this. So here's my race. I pit stopped after the 4th lap, so going into the 5th lap. And then when I got to the end, my time was, let's see, 3:37 was my time here with no slipstream partner. All right, here's my time with a slipstream partner. Look at this. 3:05. So 37 to 5. It's 32 seconds faster. 32 seconds. It's an insane amount faster for just having a slipstream partner. You absolutely have to have it. It's 100% necessary in this one to get a good score. If you don't have it, you're at a big disadvantage. All right, the last race on this one is with your parts, and you should have Nitro Chemist with Pure and Extra Pump as your parts. Now on this one, the biggest key, the thing that's going to give you the best like bump in your score, in your time, is using your NOS correctly here. What you want to do is build up a full tank of NOS or somewhere close to it before you start using it. And then you're going to make sure you're upshifting early and using your NOS, blasting your NOS in 7th and 8th gear. That's where you want to use it. And the reason you do this, if you're on automatic, it's obviously you're at a disadvantage. But if you can play this on sequential, then this is going to be a huge benefit for you. But the reason you do this is because Extra Pump and Pure and Nitro Chemist gives you a lot of NOS. And so if you don't do that, you're going to be wasting NOS. So as you can see, I'm shifting to 8th early, and then I'm leaving it kind of in 8th in some of these corners. Like this one is 7th, obviously, but I'll shift up to 8th early without even redlining, and then I'll use that as my NOS. You know, I'll start NOSing there. I'm also tapping the NOS in the corners as well, so make sure you're doing that as well. So anyway, that's kind of it. There's not really any cuts or anything like that. Stay out of the dirt. Don't do what I just did. But yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the feats. All right, for the bullseye, you need parts on 2 separate vehicles. You have maybe an AGP car or basically any ground vehicle, and then you need a plane. And those parts are going to be basically the same on both. You need a score breaker set with skilled as your affix. The nitro one doesn't really matter that much, but you definitely need skilled as your affix and score breaker as the set bonus. Now, keep in mind, if you're new to the game, the set bonus doesn't change on the parts. You can't change that. So whatever the set bonus is, that defines that part. So basically, you're looking for 7 of the same type of part, which is the score breaker part. And then you can go in and change the affixes, which are the smaller bonuses. You need to change those to skilled. So make sure you're doing that. You do it via the parts upgrade menu. You can do it there. Just follow the button prompts on the bottom. Anyways, you need those parts on both your ground vehicle and your plane. And I have a good parts guide. I'll link it in the description so you can have that. So if you want to grind parts, and if you don't have the score breaker set, you at least need to equip 7 gold parts and make sure you have skilled as the affix. So if you don't have score breaker, that's okay, but skilled needs to be there so you can get a good score. Anyways, outside of that, you don't even have to really go that fast if you have the parts. You can look at my plane flying here, which is god awful, and you can see that I'm, you know, all over the place here, not really getting the little small circle. You need to try to get the small circle for more points. I'm not even getting that. I'm just like staying and almost missing all of these big circles, and not going very fast at all, and I still ended up with some good points. I don't even know if I had score breaker on the plane, to be honest with you, because Dogfather got 21,000 points here, and I ended up with like 16, I think. So let me see, and we finish. Yeah, I got 17,000 points, which is still a full score, 157,000. So not a big deal. I guess you only need it on at least one of the items, or one of the cars. Anyways, let's move on. All right, for the escape, you're gonna drive backwards all the way to this area here. This is like the little run up for the escape, and then you'll start going down this road here under the tunnel, across the little roundabout here, and make sure at top speed when you hit the escape. You're gonna follow the highway. It's pretty easy. And when you get to the end of the highway, which is down here, you're not gonna go left. You're not gonna go left. You're gonna go right. So let me go back to here. All right, so here's my second attempt. You're also not gonna go on the left side of this road. I did this again after recording the clips. You wanna go on the right side of this split, and then you're gonna make the right. So once you make the right, I actually went through it here. You're gonna go to this roundabout and make a left. So go left here, and then get on the highway. That's how you want to do it. I ended up with another 200 yards, which gave me like, I don't know, 4,000 more points. So anyways, that's it. Let's move on. All right, the last one is the speed trap. And for the speed trap, you're going to go inside the stadium here, and you're going to go to this location here. You're going to go as fast as you possibly can to make your run up, and then you're going to knock these tires out of the way and rewind. Make sure you knock the tires out of the way first and then rewind. And when you do that, you're gonna hit this rock over here. All right, one more tires. Now you're gonna hit this rock right here, and you're gonna fly to the speed trap, which is outside of the stadium. And if you don't want to do this, that's okay too. You can just go normally and it won't be a problem. But this is basically how you have to do it. It's just like that. Now, the only way this is possible is if you have a very specific part set, I believe. You need Nitro Chemist as your set bonus. You need Frenetic and Pure as your affix. That's going to allow you to have enough, NOS to make it there. But if you want to see this again, it looks, let's see. Looks just like this. I hit the rock, jump, go up, and then point the car down. Because you need to be going down when you hit that. So there you go. That is it. All right, here are my final scores. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this, send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I read every single message that comes my way, and I reply to everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.